Welcome back to the channel, basketball fans. Today, we are talking about a moment that sent absolute shockwaves through the Japan B-League, reverberated across the Philippine archipelago, and caught the attention of international basketball scouts everywhere. The headline is clear, it is bold, and it is entirely accurate. Kai Sotto definitely blocked. Kai Sotto is back. Hiroshima Dragonflies versus Shimane Magic. This was not just a regular season game. This was a statement. This was a declaration of arrival. This was a moment where potential met preparation, and where the towering pride of the Philippines showed exactly why his name has been inscribed in the notebooks of basketball analysts for years. We are about to break down every single angle, every tactical nuance, and the massive implications of this unforgettable clash. If you've been following the journey of Kai Sotto, you know that the road has been anything but linear. From his early days dominating the high school scene in the Philippines with the 8-Neo Blue Eaglets, to his stint in the United States with the Skill Factory, his time with the NBA G League Ignite program, and his professional debut in Australia's National Basketball League with the Adelaide 36 Airs, the spotlight has never left him. But with that spotlight comes a shadow. The shadow of immense pressure, the weight of expectations from over 100 million basketball-crazed fans, and the inevitable critics who question his mobility, his physicality, and his readiness for the highest levels of professional competition. When he transitioned to the Japanese B-League to join the Hiroshima Dragonflies, questions were swirling. Was this the right move? How would he adapt to the lightning-fast, highly disciplined, spacing-oriented style of Japanese basketball? Well, ladies and gentlemen, against the Shimane Magic, a powerhouse team riding a massive wave of momentum, Kai Sotto provided the answer. And that answer was an emphatic, resounding rejection at the rim. To truly understand the magnitude of this game, we have to set the stage. The Shimane Magic came into this matchup as an absolute juggernaut. We are talking about a team that boasts one of the most lethal offensive systems in the league, orchestrated by brilliant guard play and anchored by relentless imports. They are a team that punishes defensive mistakes, spaces the floor with surgical precision, and attacks the paint with reckless abandon. At one point in the season, this team rode an 18-game winning streak, 18 games of pure dominance. Against a team like that, you cannot just show up. You have to execute flawlessly. You need rim protection that alters shots not just physically, but psychologically. Enter the Hiroshima Dragonflies, a team fighting tooth and nail for their playoff lives, a team that needed a spark, a defensive anchor to deter Shimane's high-octane slashers. When Kai Sotto stepped onto the hardwood at the Hiroshima Sun Plaza Hall, you could feel the shift in the atmosphere. The Dragonflies needed someone to protect the paint, to establish a no-fly zone, and to challenge everything at the basket. What unfolded was a masterclass in timing, verticality, and defensive awareness. When we say Kai Sotto definitely blocked, we are not just talking about a simple statistical entry in the box score. We are talking about a defensive anchor dropping back in the pick and roll, reading the ball handler's eyes, anticipating the floater or the layup, and exploding upward to erase the shot. We are talking about the sheer intimidation factor that a 7'3" behemoth brings to the defensive interior. When a guard from Shimane turned the corner and saw Sotto rotating over from the weak side, the entire geometry of the court changed. That is the gravity of a true rim protector. And when he sent that shot back, the message was delivered loud and clear. Kai Sotto is back. He is confident, he is mobile, and he is a defensive force to be reckoned with. This game against Shimane was a microcosm of Kai Sotto's evolution as a professional basketball player. It is so easy for casual observers to just look at the point totals, but true basketball minds know that the game is won and lost in the margins. It is won in the pick-and-roll coverages. It is won in the weak side rotations. It is won by securing defensive rebounds to close out possessions. Against Shimane, Sotto's presence allowed the Hiroshima Dragonflies perimeter defenders to play with immense aggression. They could press up on shooters, fight over screens, and force the Shimane guards to drive into the teeth of the defense, knowing that their safety valve was waiting in the paint. That level of defensive synergy is what turns good teams into championship contenders. Let us dig deeper into the phrase Kai Sotto is back. What does that really mean? To be back implies a return to form, a resurgence of confidence, and a silencing of doubt. Over the past few years, Kai has had to navigate the incredibly complex transition from being a teenage prodigy to becoming a battle-tested professional. In Australia, he learned the importance of physicality, setting hard screens, and fighting for position against grown men. But in the B League, the challenge is different. It is about foot speed. It is about closing out on shooters without getting blown by. It is about recognizing rapid ball movement and making split-second decisions in drop coverage or switching scenarios. The fact that Sotto was able to assert his dominance against a top-tier team like Shimane proves that he is synthesizing all these lessons. He is no longer just a tall prospect. He is becoming a highly effective, specialized weapon in professional rotation. His ability to stay on the floor, avoid foul trouble, and anchor the defense in crucial stretches of the game is a testament to his rising basketball IQ. He is learning how to use his immense wingspan to contest shots without lunging, maintaining his verticality to avoid the referee's whistle. This is the nuanced development that scouts at the highest level are looking for. This intro is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. We are about to plunge into the deep waters of tactical analysis. We're going to break down the exact offensive schemes Shimane tried to run, how Hiroshima countered them, the biomechanics of Sotto's shot blocking, and what this performance means for the landscape of the B League and the future of Philippine basketball. Buckle up, because this is going to be an extensive, uncompromising breakdown of one of the most pivotal performances in Kai Sotto's young, electrifying career. Welcome to the deep dive. To properly dissect this matchup between the Hiroshima Dragonflies and the Shimane Susanoo Magic, and Kai Sotto's monumental role within it, we have to look at the chessboard. Basketball at the B League level is a game of high-level chess, dictated by coaching adjustments, matchup exploitation, and execution under immense pressure. Let us first examine the offensive juggernaut that is the Shimane Susanoo Magic. Coming into this matchup, Shimane was not just beating teams. They were dismantling them. Their offensive philosophy is heavily predicated on elite guard play and versatile forwards who can space the floor and attack closeouts. Players like Perrin Buford and Saya Ando are the engines of this offense. They run high spread pick and rolls, designed to force opposing big men into agonizing decisions. Do you step up to stop the pull-up three-pointer, exposing the rim to a rolling big man? Or do you drop deep to protect the paint, giving up an open rhythm jumper to a deadly shooter? This is the ultimate stress test for any center, especially a young center like Kai Sotto. Shimane's offensive spacing is designed to stretch the defense to its absolute breaking point. They place lethal shooters in the corners, effectively removing the nail-help defender. This means that when a Shimane guard comes off a screen, the opposing big man is often left on an island, forced to play a 2-on-1 game against the ball handler and the roller. Now, let us flip the perspective to the Hiroshima Dragonflies. The Dragonflies knew that to stop Shimane, they had to disrupt their rhythm at the point of attack, but more importantly, they needed absolute certainty at the rim. This is where the utilization of Kai Sotto became the critical tactical pivot of the game. Hiroshima's coaching staff deployed a defensive scheme that maximized Sotto's physical gifts while masking his developing lateral quickness. They utilized a highly active variation of the drop coverage. When the Shimane guards came off the screen, Sotto positioned himself perfectly at the level of the restricted area. He made himself incredibly wide, using his massive wingspan to obscure the passing lanes while simultaneously tracking the ball handler. Let's talk about the mechanics of the block. The definitive block that set the internet on fire. Shot blocking is often misunderstood as purely an athletic endeavor, just jumping higher than the other guy. But elite shot blocking is about 80% anticipation and timing, and 20% athleticism. As the Shimane player penetrated the lane, thinking he had a step on his primary defender, he miscalculated the closing speed of Kai Sotto's reach. Sotto did not immediately jump. This is a crucial detail. A young, inexperienced big man will often bite on the first hesitation or pump fake, taking themselves completely out of the play and usually committing a foul. Sotto stayed grounded. He mirrored the offensive player's gather steps. He waited until the offensive player had fully committed to his upward shooting motion. Only then, at the exact apex of the attacker's jump, did Sotto elevate. He kept his arm perfectly straight, demonstrating textbook verticality rules. He did not swipe down. He went straight up and met the ball at its highest point, rejecting it with absolute authority. This single play was a tactical victory that cascaded throughout the rest of the game. Once a team's primary slashers experience a rejection of that magnitude, a psychological barrier is erected in the paint. The next time they drive, they are looking over their shoulder. They start altering their shot trajectories, throwing up high-arcing floaters that hit the back rim, while making ill-advised kick-out passes that lead to turnovers. Sotto's block was not just a defensive stop. It was a psychological deterrent that fractured Shimane's offensive confidence. But Sotto's impact went far beyond that single block shot. We must discuss his rebounding and his offensive connectivity. In the B League, securing the defensive rebound is the catalyst for the transition offense. With Sotto dominating the defensive glass, boxing out physical forwards, Hiroshima was able to limit Shimane to one shot per possession. This is fatal for a team that relies on volume and rhythm. Every rebound Sotto grabbed was an outlet pass waiting to happen, igniting players like Dwayne Evans and Kerry Blackshear Jr. on the fast break. Offensively, while Sotto may not have been the primary isolation scoring option, his gravity as a rim runner was undeniable. When Sotto sets a screen and rolls hard to the basket, the defense collapses. You cannot leave a 7'3" player unaccounted for in the paint, or it is an automatic lob and a dunk. By simply rolling hard, Sotto sucked in the weak side defenders, which directly led to wide-open three-point opportunities for his Hiroshima teammates. He was generating offense without even touching the ball. This is the hallmark of a mature, system-oriented basketball player. He was setting devastating flare screens, executing dribble handoffs with precision, and keeping the ball moving within the flow of the offense. We also have to contextualize this performance within the broader landscape of the Asian basketball renaissance. The B-League has rapidly become one of the premier basketball destinations in the world outside of the NBA and the EuroLeague. The influx of top-tier talent, combined with excellent coaching and passionate fan bases, has elevated the level of play to astonishing heights. The Asian player quota system has allowed stars from the Philippines to showcase their talents on a massive stage, changing the cultural fabric of the league. For Kai Sotto, succeeding in this environment is a crucial stepping stone. The Japanese league forces big men to be incredibly versatile. You cannot just be a traditional back-to-the-basket lumbering center here. You have to be able to hedge on screens, recover the shooters, and sprint the floor end-to-end. By holding his own, and in this game, dominating against a top-tier team like Shimane, Sotto is sending a very clear message to scouts globally. He is showing that he can adapt to a fast-paced, modern basketball system. He is showing that his conditioning is elite, his defensive reads are sharpening, and his physical presence is becoming a true game-changer. Furthermore, let us analyze the chemistry between Sotto and his Hiroshima teammates. Basketball is a symbiotic game. Sotto's success on the defensive end was heavily reliant on the pressure applied by his guards. Because the perimeter defenders were fighting tirelessly over screens and hounding the Shimane ball handlers, it forced the offense into rush decisions. The ball handlers had to drive into the paint without proper balance, making them prime targets for Sotto's rim protection. Conversely, Sotto's presence gave the guards the confidence to play aggressively on the perimeter. This mutual trust is what builds a winning culture. This game was a chess match, and Hiroshima, utilizing Sotto as their ultimate defensive piece on the board, checkmated the Shimane Susanoo Magic. As we draw this extensive analysis to a close, we need to take a step back and look at the broader picture of what this performance truly represents. The headline Kai Sotto definitely blocked. Kai Sotto is back is not just a catchy phrase. It is a testament to immense resilience. It is a testament to a young man who has carried the basketball hopes of a wildly passionate nation on his shoulders since he was a teenager, navigating intense scrutiny, enormous expectations, and inevitable growing pains of professional sports. To go up against a powerhouse team like the Shimane Susanoo Magic and alter the fabric of the game is no small feat. It requires absolute mental fortitude, flawless tactical execution, and individual brilliance. Kai Sotto provided that brilliance precisely when the Hiroshima Dragonflies needed it the most. He showed the world that he is not just a prospect living on potential. He is a reality. He is a functional, highly effective, game-altering presence on a professional basketball court. Let this game serve as a reminder to the doubters and the skeptics. Player development is not a straight line. It is a journey filled with peaks and valleys, adjustments and adaptations. Sotto has taken the criticisms regarding his physicality and his lateral movement, and he has quietly, diligently gone to work in the gym and in the film room. The defensive awareness, the verticality, and the rebounding tenacity we witness against Shimane are not accidents. They are the direct results of countless hours of invisible, grinding hard work behind the scenes. For the Hiroshima Dragonflies, this type of performance is a massive momentum shifter. It proves that when their defensive anchor is locked in, they have the capability to hang with and defeat the absolute best teams in the B-League. It changes the calculus for their overall success and establishes them as a dangerous, formidable opponent that nobody wants to face in a high-stakes matchup. For the Philippines, this is a moment of immense pride. To see one of their own commanding the paint, dictating the flow of the game, and standing tall against elite international competition is deeply inspiring. It fuels the dreams of the next generation of young Filipino hoopers playing on makeshift courts across the country. It proves that with the right work ethic, the right mindset, and the willingness to learn and adapt, the global stage is well within reach. And for Kai Sotto himself, this is a profound building block. Kai Sotto, his back means he has found his footing. He has found his rhythm. Now, the challenge is consistency. The challenge is bringing this exact level of intensity, this exact level of defensive discipline to every single game, every single possession. If he can replicate the rim protection, the spatial awareness, and the sheer intimidating presence he showed against Shimane on a nightly basis, the sky is the absolute limit. The international basketball community is taking notes, and Kai Sotto is holding the pen, writing his own incredible narrative. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredibly deep dive into one of the most exciting moments of the B-League season. I hope this extensive breakdown gave you a profound appreciation for the tactical nuances of the game and the evolution of Kai Sotto as a player. If you enjoyed this level of detailed basketball analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and drop a comment down below.